This episode is brought to you by Liberty Ball Markers, unique personalized golf accessories, made in the USA and delivered worldwide. Make sure to use SAVEPAR10 to get 10% off your order. The website is www.birdiebomb.com. That's www.birdie-bomb.com. Welcome to Save Par Golf Podcast, where two average golfers talk about golf and things. I'm your host, Eric.
I'm Dominic.
In today's episode, we'll cover my recent trip to Arizona, the FedEx Championship, and much, much more. Dom, we're on episode 16.
Yeah.
It's Labor Day. Happy Labor Day.
Happy Labor Day. I don't know what Labor Day is other than for laborers.
Yeah, and we have the day off, which is very important.
Well, I'm off Mondays anyways.
Okay, you know what? You don't need to rub it in. But yes, in any case, happy Labor Day to whoever's listening. Hopefully you're enjoying the day off if you have
that. I guess while we're talking, congrats to Connor and Savannah, engaged.
Oh, yeah, very cool.
My friends, you don't know them.
Nope, I don't, but congratulations.
But that's okay. Yeah, congrats, Connor. Proud of you, buddy. You didn't blow it. You didn't drop the ring either, like I probably would.
Yeah, that would be like that was kind of my thing. It was like I was super nervous, like trying to hide it, but at the same time keep it in the pocket. You know what I mean? It's like, okay.
Well, like they went and looked at rings, but he got a ring that she didn't look at. He did a good job. I'd say yes.
Does she like it?
Well, she said yes.
Well, yeah, but that doesn't mean she like it.
Well, I don't know. It just happened. Like today.
Today?
Yeah, like
today.
Like at noon.
Well, congratulations.
Congrats, awesome. Connor.
Yeah,
and Savannah.
It's an exciting time. So, yeah, it's been a couple weeks, obviously. We're back in action, ready to do this. Episode 16, a lot to cover.
Do you want to talk about our brief little hiatus?
Yeah, of course. So go ahead, Dom.
So it started with me because we were gonna do it.
Yeah,
then
we were gonna record, and then
this is like the first time that it's been a me issue.
I know,
and not a you thing.
Yep.
I threw my back out, and I'm 24. This is the second time I've done this.
Threw his back out. It wasn't golf related.
No, like the first time was.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't stand up. I couldn't like sit still. Like if we had to do this for an hour, I would have had to get up like 4 or 5 times.
Yeah, so that was kind of the 2 weeks ago.
That was the first week we missed, and I was like, I just can't function because I threw it out that Sunday, and we were going to record on Tuesday.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine. I haven't thrown it back out. I've had back issues, but nothing like that. So I'm thankful that I haven't had that issue. And the following week was my trip to Arizona. I got back on Monday. We left on Friday, got back on Monday, but it was kind of just a crazy whole week after I got back home. The trip was fantastic, super hot, about 115 degrees, which is what we anticipated.
Gross.
Played 36 holes on Saturday.
And for the record, I was not invited.
He was not invited, unfortunately. This was not a personal thing. Okay.
Yes, it was.
Not a personal thing.
Well, did you go? Then it was a personal thing.
Well, it was personal, but not personal as far as not inviting you.
Oh, got it.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, it was actually both my brothers and then one of my buddies. We went out there Friday, had a good time. Like I said, super hot. The rates are so cheap, which obviously makes sense.
I saw a comment that you replied to saying you played TPC for like $60.
Played the TPC Champions course, so it's not as good as the Stadium course.
That's the one I want to play.
The Champions course is still really nice. The crazy thing was so yeah, $60 for 18, which was unbelievable. My brother actually, I brought my clubs out. Shout out Haywood Golf. Love those irons. Played fantastic. But Dan, he rented.
I actually made, not to interrupt, I made a driving iron on their website. I really want one. So Haywood, if you want to hook your boy up with a 2-iron, I am in.
Yeah, I know. I definitely want to order one. I think
I almost did. I was close. So I don't know if I'll play any more golf this year, just with my back and everything.
Sure. Understandable. No, I the first round we played, I'll just kind of recap, but first round we played was at like 8 a.m. We played at Arizona Grand Golf Course, a short course, but it was still a fun track. We played best ball 2-on-2. I shot a 78, which is the best round of my year, of the year.
Mm-hmm.
Played really well, birdied my first hole, but yeah, the irons were fantastic. I really do enjoy the irons, and this is not a paid post for
No,
Haywood Golf.
but like if they do want to send me a 2-iron, I'll send you
You'll
my
take
specs. Hell, dude. Yeah, no, they're
the
sweet. They're
website though at
nice.
Haywood Golf it's so easy to navigate
And there's
through.
so much like stuff you can pick from. So like
Customization is awesome.
the part that always like confuses me on golf clubs is like the shafts. I don't know. I don't like.
Yeah,
I don't know. Like all my irons have the little metal one.
True Temper obviously is a huge the I think it's the True Temper 400.
I do know like if it's like a wood or any kind of driver, I do like the Mitsubishi ones. I don't know the
Stiff
name.
shaft Mitsubishi.
Yep.
Yeah.
But if I look at if I see like the design on it, I'm like, oh, I like that one, but I don't think I could tell you any names.
Well, so I went with the KBS Tour shaft, and I'm typically been the True Temper, and I actually said I enjoyed.
I know KBS from like rims. They make rims too. Oh, there's a brand KBS rims.
KBS rims. Yep. Yeah, I don't know if that's in the same connection with KBS. Certainly could be. We can look it up.
I'm gonna Google it.
It's kind of like Firestone is like huge in tires. They're huge in everything.
Mitsubishi, yeah, they make air conditioners and cars.
So it certainly could be.
No, I'm gonna Google that while you look at your.
Yeah, so and then I ended up playing the TPC, like I said, Champions Course, $60 to play 18 with a cart, which obviously was a steal. And then my older brother, he ended up renting clubs, brand new Titleist. He paid $100 for everything.
Really?
$40 to rent the clubs. Yeah, he paid $100 for 18 in a cart with rental clubs.
I would have just brought mine.
Well, that's what we did, but he had to leave early, so that's why he.
I actually found because at one point I wanted to bring my on because I go to Tampa. Mm-hmm. I wanted to. You can ship them ahead of time. It'll just show up at your hotel.
I will tell you this though, if you fly out and bring your clubs, fly Delta. I anticipated paying for them. Didn't have to pay.
Southwest, they're free.
Yep, same with Delta. So it's like
Southwest, you get 2 free check bags and a carry-on.
That's same as Delta.
So,
it's legit. And I thought for sure I was going to pay like.
The Southwest is cheaper though because you don't get a assigned seat. It's all cattle call.
Yeah, well, I mean, it was $230 for round trip with hotel and airfare, and it just happened to be Delta, so it just kind of worked out. But yeah, that was a steal of a deal. And then we played, but okay, this was the crazy thing. We played Champions Course. From hole 15 through 17, it was the most aggressive mosquitoes of my life. Like, it was to the point where we could almost even finish. It was terrible. These mosquitoes were like literally full force. Like, you couldn't even swing the golf club. It was that bad. It was crazy. You could hear them buzzing in your ear. I mean, I was like, seriously, we were like, all of us were like, what the heck? It was completely fine the whole round. 15 through 17 was absolutely atrocious. And then we got to 18 and it was completely fine again. So I'm not sure if we just landed like a nest of freaking mosquitoes, but it was terrible. So we played 36 holes in one day. It was hot, but it was awesome. And then we played Foothills Golf Club in Phoenix, and I would never suggest that course ever. And no hate, but at the same time, I mean, it was the worst kind of experience. It was 115 degrees. It was super slow as far as like it was busy, which okay, that's fine, but it was like too slow. And then not only that, the greens were absolutely terrible. Like it was like putting off of like thick, shaggy carpet. It was just, it'd be one thing if it was busy and hot to play a nice course, right?
Right.
You're busy, hot. But the red flag is that we paid $25 for the round.
Oh.
So it's hard to complain, but at the same time, it was still just absolutely brutal. And I think it also we just wore out from the day before playing 36 holes of golf in 115 degree weather.
Yeah.
So
I'd get pretty crabby.
Yeah.
It's a good thing you didn't take me.
Yeah. It was hot out there, but it was a blast. We did stay. The funny thing is we stayed at a resort, didn't even play that golf course, which we should have. The course was like in super good shape, but so we'll say that for maybe next time. But we had an absolute blast. It was a super good deal. It's $230 round trip, hotel, airfare, everything, and that was from Friday to Monday.
Well, you should invite me next time.
Yeah, I'll invite you next time.
I'll suck up the
I'll suck up the heat because it was bad. It was brutal, but again, it was fun. So that was kind of our 2-week hiatus. So again, I know we've been off for a little while, but we're gonna be back better than ever. Right?
God, I hope so.
We're going to try to.
Yeah.
FedEx Championship Patrick Cantlay, that guy was dialed in. He played.
So is Kevin Na. Nobody's giving Kevin Na any credit. 16 under. Granted, it's like third, and I get that Cantlay was, 21 under?
Yeah.
But still,
it also depends on your... Like, that's the weird thing with the last tournament of the Tour Championship is, like, depending on how you've placed before that, you already start at an advantage.
Right, but
which is cool.
But still, if you would have told me Kevin Na was going to get third or fourth, whatever he got, I don't think I would have believed you.
Probably not.
No.
I like Kevin Na.
I love watching him walking. It's because he's
walking those putts.
Yeah, he's got just the biggest smile, and he does it for fun. And I love that there was a video. I know you probably posted it. That guy recreating the Kevin Na putt, but he putts it, walks past the hole into the clubhouse, and everything.
I don't think I did.
Kevin Na reacted to it, and he enjoyed it.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's fantastic. No, I didn't see that. So before the Tour Championship was the BMW Championship. I did catch a little bit of that on Sunday in Arizona between the Patrick Cantlay and Bryson DeChambeau. Did you watch any of that? That was pretty entertaining. They ended up going to like a 6-hole playoff.
Oh, yeah. I didn't watch any, but yeah.
So there was obviously a little bit of debate because I think it was on hole 17 or 18. Bryson was in control pretty much the whole round. The guy's bombing the ball 350 yards, but Patrick Cantlay was just dialed in putting.
Is that the one that was delayed and then, what's his name, Cameron Smith shanked it, right? Or is that something else?
No, that could have been the tournament. Yeah, I think that was the tournament.
Because there was one where our favorite ugly shirt-wearing guy teed off after the long delay and just shanked it, right?
Yeah, I think that was the tournament.
That felt, I felt good because that's exactly how I would have done it. Yeah, 100%.
But the DeChambeau, the whole drama again was Bryson basically was, I think on 17 or 18, and he was in the middle of the fairway and he was getting ready to hit, and Patrick Cantlay was apparently walking. Now you can't see the background of Patrick Cantlay, but they're only focused in on Bryson. But he basically backs off the ball right before he's about to hit and basically calls out Patrick and says, "Hey Patrick, can you please stop walking?" Mm-hmm. And then of course everyone took that.
Did he say please?
I don't know if he did. Oh. He could have.
I don't see a big deal in that then. I guess as long as he's polite about it.
Yeah. Again, it's one of those where it
might be one of those things.
It can go any which way. There's a lot of people that took one side.
It might be one of those things where, I mean, obviously right now it's like half the people like Brooks, half the people like Bryson. It's probably blown out of proportion.
Exactly. It's just another way to find something to not
hate
like Bryson.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. And the one thing though that kind of would bother me,
they should all join forces and just hate Patrick Reed. Like, call it a truce. Just hate Patrick Reed. That's it. There's no more Brooks Bryson fans. They just all hate Patrick Reed.
There's a lot of people that dislike it. He's definitely got kind of thrown under he's been in the shadows now since the whole Bryson and
I know, yeah.
But the one thing that kind of like would get me, and I know they're professionals, which is okay. So like my whole angle is, any one of those professional players, I know there's a lot of mental psyche playing, right? But there's thousands of people in the galleries, around the galleries, and now you can have phones out as long as it's like on silent, but you can record. So I'm thinking like that footstep of him walking bothered him, yet there's hundreds of people that are walking or making moves. So it was like, that was kind of what got me. And not only that, Bryson outdrove Patrick majority of the time. Patrick did hang up to him, caught up to him on some of them, but at the same time, like, it's kind of like, okay, for example, if you drove the ball and you hit yours 250 and I drove mine 270, well, this is what would happen is,
well, why do you have to hit it further?
Okay, let's revolt it. Derek goes 250,
there we
Down goes 270 with his two iron driving iron from Haywood.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
So let's say you drive the ball 270, I drive it 250, right? So, and let's say we're not driving the cart together, we're walking. So I'm about ready to hit, but now you're walking to your 270, and now you're kind of in that line of sight where it's like, because he would do that the whole time. Mm-hmm. Bryson would be walking down to his ball while Patrick Cantlay was still behind him getting ready to hit. So it was kind of like, okay, well, there's still like, again, I think it was blown out of proportion, but it's just another way to make it a bigger deal than what it really was.
Yeah.
But I was so happy that Patrick Cantlay came back. I mean, the guy was like literally like just unstoppable. And it was fantastic finish. I didn't actually get to see all the 6 playoff holes, unfortunately, but he ended up prevailing and winning, and then he follows it up with a Tour Championship win with him and Jon Rahm. And Jon Rahm's a stud.
Yeah. It's honestly been his year.
Yeah.
And I know that, there's all the debate on whether he should have been pulled or not with the COVID and stuff, but either way, I mean, he's had a phenomenal year.
Yeah, John Rahm is.
It's kind of been a year of the younger guys, Like, yeah, Phil had his big win, like, which is still fresh in Phil's mind.
Yeah,
because
and it's never been done before as far as that age. So that's
right. But if you look at like everyone else, it's been like, how often have we talked about, Schauffele or Zalatoris or
a lot of young guys
Cantlay. Yeah, like it's just been a good year.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. The field nowadays is just, it's so stacked.
Yeah.
It's really kind of a pick of the hat.
I feel like every year there's someone who comes out of nowhere. Like this year, I don't think anybody really knew who Will Zalatoris was. And then he came out and you're like, oh, this kid's got he's got what it takes.
Yeah.
Then he looks like Happy Gilmore's caddy, which I don't know if that helped him or hurted him. It hurted him.
It hurted him.
It hurted him. I don't know if that helped him or not, but it's one of those things where it's like, well, we now know who he is. We know that he's good.
He's very good. Yeah, he's got a bright future. That's for sure. Tony Finau, obviously he got a W.
Yeah, bearded Tony nonetheless.
Bearded Tony, and he just had another kid. I think he's got 6 kids.
Oh, Tony, you gotta wrap it up there, buddy.
Yeah, and then Louis Oosthuizen, obviously he's older, he's a veteran, but he's just one of those guys too that he hung around a little bit. Justin Thomas is a young guy. He
had a good year.
Yeah, he had a good year. So there was a lot of good play. So it's been a question since Patrick Cantlay won yesterday, but $15 million. I feel like the FedEx Championship playoffs aren't nearly as hyped as they should be, because it's obviously a string of several tournaments, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if you win the Masters, it's a major.
Mm-hmm.
You're winning $1 million.
Right.
This FedEx tournament, you're winning $15 million. So you could literally win one tournament, the PGA, win $1 million,
and then you're
still set.
Yeah.
But you're winning this. I think the cool thing with this is that you have to play. You have to play enough tournaments depending on how you finished previously, because you get the points, right?
I think it's viewed kind of like an all-star game.
Which it shouldn't be, though. You know
right.
What I'm saying?
No, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Because it's realistically, how fun is it to go, oh, yeah, my favorite player is an all-star. You're like, cool. They'll do it again. It's like LeBron's, however many years he's been playing, I think he's been an all-star.
Yep.
Whatever. And then it's always 120 to 150. It doesn't matter.
It's all offense.
Right.
Scoring.
Right. The Pro Bowl, who cares?
Yeah, the Pro Bowl and forever.
The All-Star game for MLB is always pretty good because that at least determines something. Winner
You're
gets
playing for something.
Yeah, winner gets home field advantage.
Which makes sense. I like that.
But even then, it's not as well viewed. Where absolutely, I think the championship should be more hyped up than what it is. I get that the Masters has the prestige and all the other majors have history to them, but at the end of the day, they always say it's not about the money. But if you can win $15 million, it should be about the money.
Yeah, you'd have to win literally 13, 14 tournaments just to keep dollar amount wise,
right.
And it's you're playing the best players in the world. Obviously, the Tour Championship, there was only 30 players that actually make it.
Right, it's stacked. Right, yeah.
So
you're
in an elite group of people.
Yeah.
Granted, there are players that don't qualify because they might only play in a few tournaments a year,
mm-hmm.
where some of these players are playing in a lot of tournaments a year, and if they do well, they're going to get a lot more points. So there is advantages, but that's a pretty big deal. $15 million, you're playing in the top 30 people that played this year, or points wise.
Yeah.
I just feel like it's not as hyped. Maybe that's just me, but I feel like it's not as hyped as you talk about a fifth major and certain things like this, but it's I think the 4 majors and then this should be they should kind of more decorate it as a bigger deal than what it is, in my opinion.
If you're gonna go to a golf event, right? I'd almost rather go to the championship because you're saying the best of the best. Granted, I would love to go to the Masters
Masters #1, but this would be a very cool event to go to.
Right, or even the Open or the Players or whatever. But you go to that and you see basically the All-Stars, you're that'd be so cool.
Top cream of the crop there,
right?
Guys, yeah.
Yeah, you're not oh no, I'm following around this stranger. You're man, I'm following Cantlay or.
And I don't know his backstory, but I know he's went through a lot of adversity. Sounds like I think it was like a couple of years ago he broke his back, so he was out for.
I heard about that. Yeah.
And to come back and off of an injury like that, I mean, we're just talking about your back and how it's tightened up and just issues like that. Like, so like that's a serious issue. Like you were talking about, you might not even want to play the rest of the year. For someone to like have a broken back, have issues, and then come back and literally just win it.
It's kind of like last night. I know college football is not really what we talk about, but like last night, Mackenzie Milton played for Florida State. He was the one who had his knee blown out at UCF. He took a helmet to it.
Yep.
It was like 2 years of rehab for him to come back, and his first throw was a first down. And you're just like,
yeah, I mean, that's what we love about sports, right?
Right. It's those
obviously we don't
want
to. We don't want to see injuries, but it's so cool to.
Well, right, and he had like a pinched artery and nerve damage and a dislocated knee.
It was a pretty serious.
I remember it because they replayed it, and I was like that. Ugh. Especially because like he was so good at UCF. And now that he was at Florida State, I mean, he came in the fourth, led them to like tie the game. I mean, they lost in overtime, which go figure, like they're the Knowles, like great. But like something like that's great to see. It's great in golf too.
This is the Notre Dame in Florida State, right?
Yeah.
Is this the one where the coach was? Did you hear about his quote? He was quoting some guy, but basically saying that he was needs to execute them or something like that. But he was quoting but it was like the most ridiculous quote ever. It was just not the right time and place for it, even though, like I said, things get blown out of proportion.
Right.
The quote itself was just not very good.
Right. No, it's probably meant to like hype up the players and yeah.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, no, it's awesome to have college football back. This is the last. Well, Sunday was the last Sunday without NFL.
Yeah, it's Thursday kickoff.
Tampa Bay and Dallas.
Oh boy,
it'll be a good kickoff game though.
No, Tampa Bay's gonna blow them out.
It's for sure.
It's Dallas. It's the Cowgirls. Like it's.
I'm not a big fan of Dallas. No,
I mean, I have family in Tampa, so I'm like, yeah, go Tampa. But
it's hard to root against Tom Brady. To be honest with you, it's kind of cool to see him in a different organization doing kind of the same
succeed.
Thing. Yeah, it's just kind of a slap in the face to New England. Granted, New England's won so many Super Bowls. There's really no slap in the face.
But that's because it's because of Tom. Like
Tom's the GOAT.
Right. Like there's no arguing.
No,
like
and
he's
a likable dude though. I mean, a lot of people. I mean, like
he has his moments where you're like, you probably shouldn't have said that. But yeah, I mean, realistically, like he's not like, he's not one of those guys who's always like on the wrong side of the news in terms of NFL.
Mm-hmm.
Because there are always those guys who are like, oh, they got busted for drugs again, or
some sort of off the field issues. Where
right.
You don't really hear about that.
No,
more of it is positive or motivating or.
Plus, he gets to go home to Giselle.
Yeah, that's a good complimentary coming back from an NFL game.
Yeah, I mean, win or lose, you get Giselle.
So football is back.
Hockey's coming back too.
Hockey's coming back, and I know this is way off topic, but did you see the Wild's new?
I did.
Those are sick.
I don't like them.
You don't like those? No. I absolutely love them.
I don't like school. I don't like the weird shoulder or elbow patch thing, and
I like them. I like the state.
It might be
the logo with the Minneapolis handstand.
It might be different when I see them like in person.
Yeah,
but seeing them like in a picture, I'm like, really, like. That's it.
I thought they were pretty cool. Because did you see them with the full like breezers and stuff?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I didn't know if maybe you'd seen it without the breezers.
No,
because they kind of have like the old tan breezers, so I like the old school.
I mean, ideally, I like to see it in person before I'm like, oh, that's really bad. But I mean, we've had some bad jerseys in the past. Like those North Star colored ones we had last season were not nice.
Didn't care for those. Yeah.
No, it looks like Packers were playing hockey.
Yeah, we don't like Packers.
No,
not at all.
Not even a little. I do like some of them. They don't play for the Packers anymore. Like not Aaron Jones. What's his name? That running back that they had. Super funny dude. Jamal Williams. Hilarious.
Oh, yeah, just recently.
Where
did he go?
Detroit. His interviews are like top notch. Yeah.
Free agent? Or
yeah.
I didn't know
his interviews, top notch. Hilarious. The greatest interviews I've ever seen an NFL player give. Hilarious.
Okay, I'll have to check those out. Yeah, I know. I remember him. He was kind of him and Aaron Jones.
Yeah.
They would kind of complement each other pretty well. And then we had the state fair here, which I haven't been to in like 4 or 5 years.
I try to go every year, but I just
decided not to this year.
Yeah, no,
it's hard. It's
like my back hurts.
It's a lot of walking.
Yeah.
The people watching the state fair is fantastic. That's
its
the
attendance is way down.
I was kind of curious on because like the state fairs can make it or break it for some of these like vendors. I was curious.
They raised the prices
for the vendors.
Yeah, the vendors raised the prices.
I know a lot. They said a lot of vendors backed out. So I was thinking like, does that? I might have opened the door for a lot of new vendors. So I didn't know if that was something that there's a lot of new other items on the menu.
I don't know. I did. It was on the news. They raised like it wasn't like a drastic raise. So like if you get like a burger and a drink for like $4.50, they just made it $5.
Kind of just round it up.
Just round it up, yeah. But yeah, I was so like there was, I think it was last week, like a couple years ago, they had like 209,000 people show up. They had like 107 all day, 107,000. So it's way down.
Because pre-COVID, they broke the record every year.
Oh, every year there's a new record. This year
am I way off? But wasn't it normally like in the millions?
This is per day. That was one day they had 209,000.
Gotcha.
And then one day last week they had like 107,000.
But before the COVID, it was a couple 100,000 per day.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Or more, like 300,000 or 400,000. Right?
Yeah. Oh no, I think the highest ever for one day was 209,000.
200 was the highest. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. See, my thing is like, okay, now that I remember the tickets used to be like $8, $10. So now it's like 18 to 20, which whatever. There's coupons you can find.
Yeah.
But then it's like, I always go with the Sweet Martha's cookies.
Yeah.
But it's like, they give you a bucket, right? The bucket's the better deal, but they also fill it so full that you have to eat about 25 cookies to even shut the lid on the bucket. Granted, you're giving people the cookies.
But why are you complaining?
Because I have to eat all those cookies.
You have a wife?
No, I know, but I'm saying though is that you go there to eat all this food. By the time that's like the first thing I get.
Oh, so that's like, where you screw up.
Well, it's like if you go early in the morning, I don't want to eat like a pork chop at like 9 a.m.
You got to get a pronto pup at like 9:30 in the morning.
Pronto pups are good. I like those. Yeah, those are definitely a go-to as well. But it's like you spend all this money on food, and then half the time you can't even finish it, and then like I said, like the cone of cookies is like it's kind of a slap in the face because like they kind of force you to buy the bucket, which makes sense.
Well, and then you get a bucket.
And you get a bucket.
Yeah.
And you bring them home.
Yeah.
But it depends on who you go with. If you go with a bigger group of people, obviously it makes sense. Yeah, makes sense. But the fair is fun. Maybe next year, and unfortunately that's kind of what I say every year. Maybe next year. I just feel like we just always get caught up or busy in something. And then
I love the fair. I mean, this is like the first year I've been able to go in a long time that I just haven't. And part of that is just my back. The other part of it is like I don't really know. There's all these unknowns, and like I'm just super busy at work too. Like it's been really crazy. I'm surprised, but
as far as weather goes, it was definitely the year to go.
Super nice.
Every day was like gorgeous.
Normally there's like 1 or 2 days where it just the first day it poured.
Yep, and I was gone for that day, I think. So that was because it rained for like 3 days straight almost when I was gone, didn't it? Or 2 or 3 days over the weekend. I know it stormed really bad when I was here when I was gone.
It wasn't like pouring, but like the first day it was like super bad. Like it poured, but I mean there were a couple of days where it would have been really nice, just like with the drizzle, kind of keep the heat down. Mm-hmm. But like I have glasses, so that'd get annoying.
Fog it up.
Well, not so much that, it's just constantly like wet.
Wiping them down, so that's kind of what's going on here in Minnesota. What else? We were missing something else that we were going to talk about. I'm trying to remember what it was. I will say that when I was out in Arizona, I did try a place, and I'm going to butcher it, but it was called, I think, like Cantinos or Cantinas or something like that. But I think it's exclusively out in the West Coast or out in Phoenix area. Mm-hmm. But there was one right next to the ASU campus. Mm-hmm. There's 2 of them. And I had the best salad I've ever had there. And I know it's funny because it's salad, but
you went all the way to Arizona and had a salad.
I tried to, I ate some other stuff too, but I tried to like eat semi-healthy just because if we're, vacations, I always seem to indulge in food that we did order pizza late at night one night and that was obviously good, but like they came out with like a grilled chicken skewer on the side, and it was just, I don't know. It's weird because you can tell it's salad just by the romaine lettuce. And this romaine lettuce was so good.
Was it because it was like 115 degrees out and the salad was cold?
That could be. But it was like the romaine heart lettuce was like just different. The way that it wasn't like shredded, but it was like smaller leaflets. It was hard to explain, but it was so good. And it's like, it's a salad, but you can tell the difference between a good salad and just a mediocre salad.
Right.
And it was amazing. So that was really the only food that I think that I could brag about that I had on the trip. I had some steak and mashed potatoes with some mushroom, but it was your typical, just standard.
A couple Fridays ago, I had tickets to that immersive Van Gogh.
Oh yeah, I've seen that pop up on Instagram.
Yeah, dude.
Where is that
at? It's around here.
It's at some sort of museum, though, isn't it?
No.
Or do they
it's like a warehouse that they transformed. It's super cool, yeah.
So you did go?
Yeah. Yeah, it was like right before I hurt my back, too. So it was like perfect timing. Well, I shouldn't say that, but super fun.
It worked out, yeah.
Yeah, super fun. That was super cool. And then after that, we got tacos from this place called Centro. You've been there?
No. Where's that at? Is it near here or is it off of Lake Street? Because Lake Street's the way to go.
Quincy.
Quincy, so it'd be probably North Minneapolis.
Quincy Street. Well, we got Google right here.
Look it up, dude.
It's like 10 minutes from here, 2 miles. It's actually by it's by a brewery. It's by Indeed.
Indeed Brewery. Okay.
Yeah, by Indeed Brewing. Yeah, it's like right there, right by Indeed. Indeed's right there.
Yep, I got you. What's it called again?
Centro. And I had a braised.
The pictures looked really good.
I had a braised beef taco, super bomb, and then I had a chorizo potato taco. Potato taco. I didn't care for that one as much just because chorizo's. I didn't really care for it. Yeah. I had a really good like hibiscus lemonade. And my friend who I went with is vegetarian, so she had a black bean like thing, and it was.
Did it look good?
So good. I stole some.
Yeah.
Super good. And then she had some kind of like margarita. It was really good.
We went to. We stopped earlier today. My wife got it. I'm not a deviled egg fan. Do you like deviled eggs?
Oh, it's been a long time since I've had one. I like eggs though.
Yeah, so I love scrambled eggs are like the only way I can eat my eggs.
I love hard boiled eggs.
See, I just can't do it.
It has to be like homemade though, because you buy them from stores and they're kind of fake tasting. Yeah.
She got at Nolo's, but they serve it between like 12 and 3, but it's basically like a deviled egg sandwich, and it comes with like fries or whatever else you want. But I don't like deviled eggs, but. It looked actually pretty good, but she said it was absolutely amazing. So that was kind of another food option that if you're in the North Loop area, Nolo's, they have a really good food selection. Their pizza's also really good too, and their wings.
I've heard of them.
Yeah, it's just right off of Washington. It's like right down the street. It's really cool, little place.
Okay.
They have a very cool atmosphere, cool bar. It's kind of a newer looking building, but it's an older building, but newer looking side. It's
Got it.
Cool looking. So yeah, that was kind of it for food. I haven't had anything else. Like I said, I was kind of disappointed in Arizona. We kind of did it wrong because we didn't rent a car and we were going to, but there was some issues.
Sure it's hard.
Yeah, renting a
shortage.
Yeah, it's tough, and so we spent our trip was dirt cheap, but we did Uber a lot because where we stayed was in a nice resort, but getting from part A
kind of far.
Yeah, so you're looking at $30 to $45 a trip.
Oh, and you have to get the big Uber because you have
the
3
Uber
sets of golf
XL,
clubs.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it would have been a lot cheaper if we wouldn't have had our clubs. But I mean, I said it was well worth it. But so we kind of pretty much stayed on our resort.
Mm-hmm.
So they had a restaurant there, but I was surprised. It was kind of like a ghost town. Like the restaurant closed at 9 on Sundays and closed at 10, and it I don't know. The pool bar closed at 7 in the afternoon. Any night. It was like Friday.
A bar.
They have a bar at the pool.
But it closed at 7? What if I want to get hammered at 8?
Well, you could order from the restaurant, but you'd have to walk and do it, which is not a big deal, but it's attached. But it was just kind of the point that was you're at a resort. Yeah, you can order a bucket and then bring it, which again is not a big deal. But I was just kind of shocked by Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It's a resort. You'd think it'd be open till 9 or 10.
Right.
And the weird thing is obviously in Phoenix and in Arizona, this is their off season, so it's most people don't go to vacation in Arizona at 120 degrees.
Right, and then there's you.
And then there's me that's this is dirt cheap, sounds like a good time.
Yeah.
Which it was. But yeah, that was kind of the downside. Everything kind of just seemed like it was closed early.
Mm-hmm.
We did go to a cool brewery right near the ASU campus, and I can't remember the name of it, but it was really cool. And I just had one beer there, but it was a good time. They said we didn't really eat too much of the fancy food or the good food. It was pretty much everything was on resort. So.
Right.
But that's pretty much it that I have as far as my trip. And I'm thinking we are gonna definitely do a golf tournament next year.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of want to talk more about that. I'm hoping that we can have a guest on next week.
Mm-hmm.
That's the plan. Definitely going to record next week regardless, but we'll try to have somebody on next week. Maybe we'll have a guest that we've had on before. We'll see. Maybe leaderboard.
I thought
like a previous guest.
No,
Otherwise, we might have a new guest.
I thought you were like dropping hints, and I was like, I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm nodding like, don't tell them.
I don't know, because all I've done is like I set up the ambassador stuff with Liberty. So thank you very much. I mean, we've worked with him forever. I mean, before we had a podcast, like
long before.
Yeah, we were like doing ball markers with them, and I know
quality stuff. He's fantastic.
Yeah, I know he's super good to work with.
We'll get him on the podcast too.
I've asked him.
Yeah, is he down or no? Some people don't like the mic situation. They don't like to be like interviewed or like talk.
I think it might more be like, hey, I don't want to talk, which is absolutely fine. I mean,
it's an intimidating thing.
Yeah, I mean, he's a stand-up guy. If there's ever an issue in the design process, he'll correct it, make it right. I mean, he's gonna do it until
you're satisfied.
Until you're satisfied, no matter how many takes it is. Stand-up dude. I mean, I know when we first launched the podcast, I got little markers made that say Save Park Podcast.
Yep. Yeah, they're awesome.
Yeah. No, they're custom super good. I mean,
yeah, there was a few times where I know you're pretty particular on what you like.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, I am too, but at the same time, like I'm also one of those that like I that is kind of a negative on my side, is that like if it's not the way that I pictured, I'll still be, oh, it looks great. And not saying that he has done that, but like the cool thing with him is that if you didn't have that exact same idea that he did, he will make sure that it's the way you want it, which I think sets him apart from other people.
Yeah, like the original marker he had sent me, I was like, oh, that's like a lot of yellow and green. And I was like, no, need the pink, because one, we're not Packer fans. Two, we gotta have the pink, because the pink is a big deal in our logo. It's an azalea. It's azalea pink.
Yep, we got the azaleas, baby, for the Masters. National.
So I was like, we need that, and he was like, oh, for sure. Corrected it, sent me a picture, and I was like, cool, that's it. And then it's just all through PayPal, like super easy, and he ships super quick. Like it was like
worldwide too. So
it was like 2-3 days I had my markers.
Yeah, Save Park 10.
Save Part 10% off.
You can follow him at Liberty Ball Markers on Instagram. I think he's on Facebook as well. I think he's all over social media.
He has an eBay store.
He does have an eBay store.
Yeah. So if you want to just buy like a pre-made one on eBay, you could do that.
Yeah, otherwise he's pretty much custom anything. He does more than just ball markers. He does divot tools.
He's got like a little like cool hole-in-one stand, which I know we talked about for the tournament possibly doing for like the winners. You get like a hole-in-one, and then there's a spot that the ball sits, and then you can like engrave it with, maybe the hole, the place, the yardage, everything like that. And it's like, it's all, I mean, in my opinion, pretty well priced considering all the hard work he does and all the effort that goes into place.
Everything's handmade. So
yeah.
It's fantastic.
And it's in like, he's from Missouri. So it's, kind of Midwest.
Shout out Liberty Ball Markers. He said Save Part 10, www.birdiebomb.com.
Mm-hmm.
Is where you can find him. Or again, you can go to his Instagram handle, Liberty Ball Markers. I think he has his link to his website right on his Instagram.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I can link it in this episode.
Kind of a short and sweet episode, but
yeah,
we wanted to get something recorded again. We want to put out better content, more content.
We're not dead.
We're not dead. We are alive and well. We just had a little bit of a back issue and a little bit of a golf trip hiatus, but we are back. And again, we hope to be putting out more content
with contacts.
With contacts, yeah, content with contacts. So, again, thanks for sticking around. Hopefully, you do continue to support Save Park Golf. Give us a follow, and then also give us a follow on Save Park Golf Podcast. Thanks, guys.